We're now onto our fourth and final panel of this MEIS Conference 2024. We are discussing, the theme this year is empowering artists and sustaining success in music and entertainment. So now we're on to the continuation of that sustaining success, you know, where you got your mental health and wellness in check, and now you can focus on and continue to get back into your career. You can understand how to pivot and navigate the industry. And what we have here is esteemed panelists, and they are also FTC alum. So after this panel, feel free to come up and a little meet and greet, introduce yourselves, you know, the family. And again, as a reminder, for those interested in getting involved in the industry more, we have a table in the back about connecting with industry organizations. A lot of them have student membership opportunities. The Recording Academy, Grammy U. We have Music Cares over there. We have Association of Independent Music Publishers, Music Managers Forum. So whatever you might be interested in, you know, go see Sabrina and Cindy in the back. And so I'm going to turn it over to Christy O'Rourke, who will be moderating our next panel. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Great. Professor Heyman and Professor Latore in the business division, this has been such a great day. So thank you so much for all this excellent information. And I'm always so proud of our alumni. It's so great for you guys as students to see and hear what our alum are doing. They're all over in the industry. And I'm just really proud to present every one of you. I don't want to keep talking. I'm going to let you talk, but first off, I just want to get these right, so I'm reading them off. David Levy, VP for Revenue Growth and Income Tracking for Primary Wave. Cisco Hernandez, Director of A&R Research, Republic Records. Asia Liu, Founder, Asia Liu Casting Director, Development and Producer, Reality TV and Commercials. And Ryan McTaggart, Senior Vice President for 300 Entertainment, Artist Development, and Lifestyle Marketing. Okay, so good stuff here. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Oh, yes. Okay, great. I got it. But sometimes I like to say it anyways. So why don't we just go down and ask a little bit about your position. Just briefly describe your position and your company.
Yeah, sure. So Primary Wave is a catalog management company. So we're looking for classic artists, classic catalogs that want to partner with us, and part of my job is finding ways to increase revenue streams and increase royalties, and ensuring that these songs are heard, and finding ways that we can increase the earnings for the artists and the estates that we work with.
Republic Records, we are fortunate to be the #1 record label the 5 of the last 6 years. We're the record label home of Taylor Swift, Drake, Post Malone, Ariana Grande, The Weeknd. So many more superstars. I hope I'm not forgetting anything.
Somebody's showing off.
I was going to say, okay, it's going to be interesting.
Competing labels.
Right.
And I am the director of A&R Research, so my job is to identify, sign, and evaluate new artists for the record label and try to find new artists.
Cool. Hey everyone, I'm Asia Liu. I am a reality television and commercial casting director. I also develop reality television. I also produce reality television. My job is in finding the talent. So I'm out always looking for personalities. I don't know if you got, I did have an open call for American Idol here couple months ago.
And thank you for reaching out. And by all the alum, they give back in so many different ways. So really appreciate that.
Yeah, so I've been casting American Idol for the last 6 years, and I'm a pray it continues to happen, Lord. But my job is finding talent, whether it's personality. I do focus on real people casting, so I'm not necessarily looking for people who are actors. I'm looking for people to be who they are, that just real people. Whoever you are, let's go.
I'm Ryan McTaggart. I'm not as cool as everybody else.
Yes, you are.
I run our artist development and lifestyle marketing for 300, home of Megan Thee Stallion, Free Thug. Well, he's home now. Gang. Gunna, Huncho, T Grizzly, We are the #1 rap label on planet Earth. We are the most culturally relevant rap label on planet Earth.
Oh, boy.
We don't have Sunday nights where our artists are at football games and helping the Kansas City Chiefs every week.
Hater.
Unless we get a feature by Taylor, then we're all on team. My job is really, I run our brand partnerships, I run our lifestyle, I run our tour marketing, my team's job is to run around with the artists. We make sure they're where they're supposed to be. We try to get them brand deals. We try, our job is to push the ball up the hill when they're brand new. So when they become huge superstars, we get to be like, hey, send me my plaque. And really just, we're really consumed with the artists. Like, I had to turn my phone off because they like to FaceTime, because as your generation knows, you guys don't answer a phone call for nothing, but you'll FaceTime me for the ceiling all day long. So a lot of job is just really being their day-to-day, not so much their manager, but from the label standpoint, making sure that, I would say, like, our job is to really teach them how to do the business part of this. Like, most artists get a deal and they don't know this is your full-time job now. I'm like, no, I just show up and make records and then I do shows. And like, no, there's this 90% of this that's actually your real job. So it's really us kind of developing them and taking the long road and the long steps and helping them be the best artists they can be.
Right, yeah, and thank you, Ryan. Ryan's brought some talent here to perform a couple of times, so that was really exciting, really great. And yeah, so good. So talk about you. How did you get to where you are, each of you? How did you get there? What did you do at Five Towns, and how did it segue into, your career path?
Yeah, I'll start.
Yeah.
I interned at Primary Wave while I was here, and then I took another internship at another company. Ended up getting a full-time job there, and then Primary Wave started to grow, had a couple openings, and they're like, hey, do you want to come back? And I was like, sure, let's do it. So, and I've been there now 5 years, rose to a VP. It all starts from internships, starting when you're in college.
My journey has been a crazy one. I interned at University of Music Publishing while I was a FTC student. From there, I ended up getting a full-time job at RCA Records in the radio promotion department, doing radio promo. Then I ended up at The Orchard doing marketing. And then at Republic Records, I started as digital advertising. And now I am doing A&R. It is completely weird circle and connection. But that's one thing about the music industry that I love, is that you never know what job you're going to end up the next day. It changes every time.
As the industry does, right?
Yeah.
Well, my casting career actually started at Five Towns. My mom, who's here, my mom is the former director of productions for Nickelodeon, Nick at Night. It goes on. Okay. So my mom introduced me to one of her friends who was a casting director. Her name was Millicent Diane. And she hired me as her, first I interned for a year, and then she hired me my second year in Five Towns to be her assistant. So there are actually, and I know I haven't told you this yet, but there are actually music videos out where it's Five Towns college students in. I think it was that one hit wonder Lindsay Lohan had. I had almost everybody, all my friends was in that video. Little Kim put the lighters up. All my friends was in the video. So a lot of videos that I look at in the beginning of my career, which was predominantly music videos in the beginning, I actually was working here. I was also the party girl on campus. Did a lot of house parties. So, networking, because you don't know what the next person is sitting next to you, who they're going to become, what they're going to be doing. So that has really helped out. And like my time here was all about just meeting people, knowing, getting to know everyone, connecting. I don't know if y'all are doing it, but we used to be making records 1, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. We had the hip hop showcase. I don't know if there's still videos of that.
We have to check the archives, maybe.
Yeah, we used to do so we were up all day, all night, making records, doing things, meeting people. So it was all about networking, and that started. So once I graduated, I decided, because he's hanging out with hip-hop artists all day. I don't know how he's doing it. It was rough. It was rough casting music videos with hip hop artists all day. And I was just like, you know what? After I graduated, I was like, I'm going to try and do commercials and get into something else. And so after I graduated, I packed my bags, moved to California, and it went from commercials to reality TV. And that's my story. So it started here.
Did you shoot those videos on campus?
No.
Okay.
No, but I was rounding up the crews here. Yes.
Yo, so just so you know, when you do these panels, don't go last. It is the worst.
I will shoot it around. We're kind of.
No. It's you're the old man. This is kind of how it goes. So I'm from Minneapolis, Minnesota. I will give you $1,000 if you ever find a picture of me that doesn't have a Twins hat on, because I'm not from here. My kids are all from here. My wife, well, soon to be ex-wife, and my girlfriend. Everyone's from here. It's not a bad thing. No. I take care of everybody. Be clear. It's very expensive. But the first thing I did with my newfound, I caught a bag at the record label, was I have season tickets to the Minnesota Vikings and I live in Long Island. So
Yeah.
that is the one little player thing I do. Other than that, my kids are all Vikings and Timberwolves fans. They're all from Long Island. They're all little mixed kids, and all their kids are like, why do you like the Minnesota team? Like, because of my daddy. And he knows Gunna, so you got to be cool with him. So came here in 96. I'm going to do this real quick because I'm really long-winded if you haven't noticed. Graduated in 2001. I interned at Jive Records, the NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, R. Kelly. I know, our era. Just everyone, don't act like you don't believe I Believe I Can Fly was a record. Calm down. Moved over to MCA Records. That turned into Universal Music Group. If you've noticed, when I go through my career, everything merges, everything becomes something else. That's kind of the way it works. MCA became Geffen. Geffen was part of Interscope. I worked at Universal Distribution from 01 to 07. Then I went to Interscope Records, was artist development at Interscope. I handled the East Coast. Then I ended up in Minnesota, Florida to New York. After 2015, I did artist development, where I didn't do just rappers. I was at the beginning of Lady Gaga, Imagine Dragons, Kendrick Lamar, Schoolboy Q, Mindless Behavior, if you're that age. Ellie Goulding, LMFAO, Faris, like it goes on and on. About 2016, here's where it's gonna get scary, kids. You're gonna get laid off in this business. This is how this works. I've gone through 6 mergers, made it through 3, got cut in 3. I promise you, this is how God works. Every time you get laid off, you're gonna end up making more money and going somewhere else. It looks crazy. You're gonna be scared for a month. It's gonna be the worst thing ever. The first thing happens, and my best friend, one of my best friends in this business, Adam Favors, he called me the day I got laid off, and he was like, hey, because they were like, you can come to LA, or you can take your severance. And at that point, I was like, I got a baby on the way. We ain't really moving. What are we gonna do? He was like, hey, dude, this is the best thing. You're in the Matrix. This is gonna be the best thing for you. The year I got laid off in 2016, I ended up at 300 Entertainment with Kevin and Leo when they started it, which amazing. Working for Kevin Lyles has been a godsend. I made more money the year I got laid off than I'd ever made in my life. I took my severance. Interscope artists all complained because they're like, where's our boy? So I still got to, they had to hire me as a freelancer. So I got to work MGK, Lady, all the artists I helped break, they had to give me another check. And at the end of the 8 months, I got hired full-time at 300. So the year I got laid off, I made a bag. And then, fast forward, I've been at 300 for 8.5 years. I just keep it a buck. My contract's up at the end of the year. I will be going somewhere else. Not scared, love it to death. But again, merger. There's the new regime in Atlantic. They don't see us the way how we were. And I tell everybody this. And again, I'm going to steal a lot of Kevin Lyles isms tonight. Go for the opportunity, don't go for the money. The money will always be there. I promise you. That money's coming, but don't go for the look. Go for the opportunity. I took a pay cut to go to 300. I'm senior vice president. They sold that company for $400 million. And they're like, hey, you want to be senior vice president? I do. How much does that make? Oh, yeah, I'm good. Can I sign? Sign. But again, all that started here because I interned. And a lot of my friends that I interned are still in the business, and we're all executives. We all move around. We all take care of each other. Someone gets laid off because hey, you want, and one of us is going to end up running the label. One day, one of you are going to run the label, and hopefully you'll hire me. And you hire all your friends. because this is the game. This is what you signed up for. If you want to work in a major, this is what you signed up for.
Yeah.
So I tell everybody that this, and I'm sure they can all attest to this, and move around. You are your best, like you're selling yourself at the lake. Like I would say, fill the holes. If you can fill the holes, you'll always have a job. I mean, you have somebody who started in radio promo that's now A&R. That should just show you. And certain people have their own companies. Are cool. And hold on.
I mean,
and we got one that makes all the money. So but remember,
Catalog.
everybody does what they're supposed to do.
That's right.
and they're all FTC grads, so that's really amazing. So, you know, we were talking, I know, Ryan, you were talking about some challenges, right? But in your line of work, what is the greatest challenge presently right now do you experience? And what do you do to overcome that challenge?
Ryan, we'll let you go first.
No. I talked enough. You got it.
If
You got it.
You can always
Money
say
man
pass.
should go first.
You can just say pass, we go to the next
All right, I
question.
can start.
Greatest challenge presently at work, and how do you overcome that as a professional? How do you overcome that challenge?
Yeah, I mean, the greatest two challenges for me would be, you know, we're a fast-moving company. We've gone from about 20 catalogs to 150 catalogs in 4 years. So when you have that much growth, you have a lot of challenges that come up, and, you know, a lot of new faces come in. You're constantly trying to teach people, you know, how does this work? You know, I'm hiring, like Ryan said, I'm hiring some of my friends just to come in. I'm like, I just need you to help me right now. So, you know, it's just with constant growth just comes with really finding ways to teach people and make sure everything keeps moving and make sure, you know, you get everyone to be happy. You know, the other thing is, you know, we work with a lot of older artists, older estates, and people are very set, like, this is how I've always done it, and they may not be open to, hey, I think you should make a TikTok account. Hey, I think you should probably post on your Instagram page and not just leave it with one picture of you from 40 years ago on it. You know, so it's the challenge is just like getting people just to understand, and, you know, it takes a lot of repetitiveness and just getting things people said, like, I think you should do this, think you should do this. Nothing ever works the first time, but just sticking with it is really the best way to move ahead.
Yeah, for me, it's a tough one because I do not sleep well at night sometimes because there is about, I think the stat is 150,000 songs are released every single day. It is my job to go through almost as much as I possibly can of those 150,000 songs and try to identify who is the next superstar, who is the next Drake, who's going to be the next Taylor. It's a lot of pressure. I deal with a lot of pressure. You know, I report directly to the COO, so Avery Littman, who's a co-founder. So it's a lot of expectations, and there's a lot of big shoes to fill on my end as well, because people who've had my job previously are now running their own labels, whether it's Mercury Records or Island Records, which Island is hot right now with Sabrina Carpenter and Chaperone, who I am obsessed with. But it's my job to kind of like deal with that pressure and identify new artists. And I have to sometimes remind myself that, you know, it's just music. I gotta do what I love. I get to do what I love. When I was sitting where you guys are sitting at, I wish I could go back in time and tell myself, like, hey, you're gonna get paid to listen to music every day. I wish I could go back in time to do that. But that's why I try to kind of calm myself down and like ground myself a little bit. But, you know, that's the main pressure I have to kind of like deal with. Every day as an A&R, that's one of the most difficult parts.
A lot.
There's so many pressures in what I do. There's a lot of hats that I'm wearing at the same time with extremely small teams, and I don't know what I'm going to be working on. Like, you know, I can get a call right now for a reality show that I've never even thought about people for. So I'm like, what do I talk about? Well, one thing that I can say is there's no such thing as I couldn't find it. So, you know, by the time I'm on, it's usually just the executive producer of the show, myself, and maybe a producer. It's like in the beginning of production, like the full crew is not on yet. And I have to deliver. There is no such thing as not being able to, and it does not matter how crazy of an ask it is, because some of these shows are crazy, okay? A lot of them are crazy, and sometimes you look and you're like, where did you find these people? And that's when your producer hat comes on, because then it's like, okay, I found this person. He has this part, but he doesn't have this part. So where can I find, what is it that I can find in their story that will fit whatever it is the network is requesting, right? So it is a lot of producing. It's a lot of figuring things out, a lot of problem solving. For Idol, I'm like on TikTok and Instagram all day, all night, trying to find these voices because, I mean, there's a lot of people out there who think they can sing. Okay? They think, and you know, for Idol, they want people, they say they want them to be, you know, oh, new and up and coming, but no, they really need like polished voices, big polished voices. So that's really rough. But the biggest thing is diversity, making sure there are people on the casting side who look like me, who look like you, who maybe believe in what you believe in, who may, you know, because when I say diversity, I'm not just talking about race. I'm talking about diversity in race, diversity in religion, sexuality, because the thing is that casting is really dictating the what's the word I'm looking for? Not the demographics. Trends, no. The narratives. Mm-hmm. Okay, we are in charge of the narratives that are being pushed out there. So if there is only one type of person on that team, then you're not, you know, showcasing everybody, right? So that's one thing that I do fight for is diversity, because there are, you know, a lot of cultures, ethnicities are being they don't have their chance to be at the table to dictate what narratives that we're putting out there. So that's my thing, is I'm always open to teach. So if anybody ever wants to intern or whatever, you can hit me up, because I'm always looking to teach people who are different than me, who are different than what I normally see, because I do feel that the industry as a whole needs to have more people that represent what America, what the world looks like at the table, and currently is not, right? A lot of times I'm the only person of color on the teams. It's really rough. It's not easy. But I am someone who just keeps pushing, and I'm constantly teaching and constantly bringing people up with me and showing them the ropes, because we do need more diversity all the way around. So I feel like that is the biggest struggle. Yeah.
Yeah, I said, you know, I was going to ask you that. Is it more challenging to work for like a commercial or American Idol or reality TV, some of the other shows? Is it more is one more difficult to cast than another? I know the challenge of diversity is there, but
well, commercials, I may have maybe 2 weeks, maybe even a week.
Okay.
The last one I did, they were like, "Can you get this done in 3 days?" And it's like, what?
yeah, so yeah.
So yeah, and that's when you start upcharging. But sometimes the money's not there too. You know what I mean? Sometimes you gotta, you know, when it comes to, I don't know if there's any film people in the building, but like sometimes, you know, the budgets, it's always. You always got to work with it, but you know, commercials is a really fast turnaround. The money's usually better, but reality television is, you know, you maybe get 2-3 months, sometimes 6 months, working on a show. I can't say that one is harder than the other, because at the end of the day, you're doing the same thing. You're like out there seeking and looking. And the most important thing is to, you know, especially if anybody's interested in what I do, is, you know, creating and starting your own database of people. Like have a database of like all your friends, all your family, everyone in your college. Like I wish someone told me to do that when I was here. Because like I said, I was a party girl. If I kept a hold of those lists and those numbers, like my reach would be so big now, you know, because with what it is I do is I need to get to massive amount of people extremely fast, filter through all of those, you know, schedule, meet them, produce them, shoot them. It's a lot going on. And oh my God, I got my first chance to actually cast a girl group. I don't know what label they're on, but have y'all heard of Cat's Eye? Yeah. So I was, like that's a new thing that I'm starting to see where labels are actually starting to reach out to casting people to help them cast artists and groups. Don't know if that's a great idea because we get paid once and then it's like, okay, thank you, peace. A&Rs, y'all get points, right? Y'all get points. So I don't know how great of an idea it is, but I did do that and that was pretty cool. So it's the same amount of work for everything you do. Commercials is just faster.
Gotcha. Thank you. That's great.
So we're going
Ryan.
to teach you about a management fee. So when you get them, you become their manager. Then you bring them to us. See? I'm going to get you your money. I want a little piece of that money, but I'm going
I'm
to
okay with that. You're right. You are so right.
See, the panel's going to start working together. That's
That's
great.
I would love it.
Oh, I'm
Fine.
up.
I don't know, Ryan. Do you want to bypass that one, or I mean, I know you have so much.
I mean, I'll just keep it real quick. Like at the end of the day, artists are storytellers, right? So like the challenges every day is going to be different. Some days you're going to have a month, 2 months to set this all up. Sometimes you're going to have 3 hours, and that's just what you signed up for. So like I always tell everybody, like, hey man, if you do what you're supposed to do and you put God first, and this is what you were supposed to do, like you'll figure it out.
Yep.
Okay, great. Kind of segueing from this question, and the last panel was about, mental health and how do you take care of yourself and work-life balance. What are the things, all of you have very stressful positions and a lot going on. What do you do or what can you share with students that might be something, that helps you, that might help them in balancing that stress, or is there? I'm looking at your faces and it's like, no, nothing helps it.
Yeah, the one thing I do is early in the morning, wake up, go to the gym. I don't check my phone, I don't check anything. I just put music on it and that's it. It gives me like an hour and a half to just not think about anything. Because that's like really the only time that I have to really to myself. Other like we were talking before, we'll work till 8, 9 o'clock every single night. Sometimes you get calls Sunday night, hey, we got to get this going. But yeah, so that's the one thing I do is just like focus on the gym, just focus on my health. But yeah, you got to get up early to do that.
Right, and that's that turns into another challenge. But if you train yourself to do it, you can do it,
Exactly.
and it really helps.
Yeah. For me, I try to practice gratitude. I'm a very corny, cheesy person, so I have quotes that I try to repeat. I also try to remind myself, when I was a Phi-Town student, I lived in the Bronx. And that's where I grew up. So it used to take me 4 hours to get to school, 4 hours to get back home. So it was an 8-hour trip just to come to class in this school.
That's tenacity.
And I did it 3 times a week or 2 times a week. Thank God you guys have that schedule. Hopefully you still do. But I did it because I loved music. And so when I'm stressed, I try to go back to myself and be like, you wanted this. This is what you wanted. You're now living it, and you are accomplishing what you wanted to accomplish. So I try to focus on that. Try to practice on gratitude. Again, I'm very corny and cheesy, so I love a good quote. But that's just me personally.
I'm with you on that. I love quotes. I always have. Yeah.
I love that. There's quite a few things. When I came here, I wanted to be a songwriter and a singer. So I still record music. I still write music. Music is a really big part of me. Nobody knows that. Nobody knows that. I'm always making and creating something, press on nails, braids. I'm just a creative person, so I have to create in order to stay sane. The other thing is, because I live in California, guys, I don't live here. The other thing is coming home to my mom. And that's why I'm here. And she cooks for me. She does my laundry. She makes homemade bread, homemade ice cream, homemade cheesecake. So, I go home and I just relax and I don't have to do anything because my mommy got my back. So that's a big
awesome.
thing. And I like the quotes.
Yeah.
Quotes is a big thing. I collect them. I'm because in my business, I have to be on all these social media platforms all day, all night. And a good quote, I have thousands of quotes that I see that I save, and I just listen to and read and write down. The quotes really do help just keep my mind going. And prayer. Pilates too.
Pilates and prayer. I like that. Ooh, I like that.
Sounds like the event, right? My mom forces me to do that. But I do have a prayer group that my mom runs with me, and we pray Monday through Friday. It's 7 a.m. in New York, and it was like 4 a.m. in LA. It was a lot, but prayer can get you through a lot. So yeah, that's what I do.
Very good. Yeah.
Now I'm gonna sound old. So I'm an AAU dad now. I'm 46. I know I look 28, or at least
Yeah.
everyone nod their head
Yeah,
like,
we got
yeah, you look young.
You do.
Thanks. This is a very stressful thing. Like I always tell everyone, like, you know, to everyone's point up here, everyone kind of said the same thing. Like, this is your dream. Like, I moved from Minnesota to come here to follow this is what I wanted to do. So I always don't take that for granted. There's a million people that would kill for this job. There's a million people would kill for my shoes. So when there are days when I want to curse out rappers and want to be like 2 + 2 is 4, stop trying to make it 5. I didn't post this, I didn't post that. Dude, I have your login. I'll just do it. Like, calm down. And you just realize it's not that serious. We're not curing cancer. No one's dying. Yeah, occasional RICO charge, but that's sorry, state of Georgia. But family first. That's something like at 300. Like it's. And I'll tell this really. It's kind of sad, but this is why I will always be loyal to Salim, Raina, Kevin, like the whole crew at 300. Right. So I got hired on a Friday. My daughter was born 4 months early on Monday, passed away 3 weeks later. They didn't ask me when I was coming to work. They helped pay for bills and didn't tell me about it. So at the end of the day, those are still my family. Like, I'll do anything for them, whether I'm at 300 or I'm at another label. We made something great. And in the game, there's not going to be that many people like that. I promise you that. There's not going to be many people that were like, and I was the new dude. I'm like, I'm about to get fired. This is my 3rd day here. My daughter's not supposed to come for another 4 months. I got to go. They're like, why are you on the phone? Literally, like they answered I was like, my daughter just passed away. And they're like, what can we do? That's not going to happen everywhere else. So I always tell everybody, at the end of the day, keep God first and have some gratitude. Like I think everyone said up here, but also like, you're going to get very lucky in this game. You know, Andrew Barber, if y'all know Fake Shore Drive, he has a great quote, since we're using quotes today. 98% of this game, 2% is real. Thank you, be part of the 2%.
Yes.
And I always tell everyone this: how you play the game is how you play the game. Everybody has to play the game. This is the business. This is what you signed up for. Whether you're an artist, producer, manager, you want to work at a label, you want to be a casting director, whatever you want to be. This is the entertainment business. But how you play the game is how will people be. Like, I've never jerked anybody. I've never lied to anyone. Artists love me because you just tell me the truth. Yeah, like, why would I set you up for failure? Like, also being the old white guy trying to tell a 22-year-old black kid from the hood what to do, they are going to look at you a little crazy if you try to play them. So, like, hey, like, I know what I'm doing. Like, trust me, and always be honest. Like, I always tell, like, that's the one thing you can't in this game. As long as you're honest, people are always going to respect you. Yep. And those are challenges that you do every day, and that's just a career-long game. Whether you want to be in the music business for 5 minutes or 5 years, or luckily like me, I'm going on 26. So, thanks. And then you meet people like this. You come. You know, Christy was bombing. I probably didn't answer 15 emails because I got Mary J. Blige coming tonight. Heads up. And I'm old because I worked at Interscope, so like, wow, this is like a full circle thing for me. Midnight, guys, put on pre-saves out now. Target exclusive. Sorry, like, y'all mom was like her. Like, calm down. Y'all doesn't seem power. Everyone relax.
Right.
But like, and to everyone's point, I'll give you a little game too. Like, I just got 3 more plugs tonight.
Yep.
Like, I got somebody in A&R now. I got someone's gonna cast my videos. I got someone gonna tell me how to get some money and some catalog thing. Like, and you never know where people go. So like I always tell people that like look around the room. Like, because some of y'all gonna come talk to us afterwards. I pay attention who comes and talks to me.
Yep.
We all peep game because like you could be over there right now. There's a lot of kids. And I went here, so There's a lot of, we gonna be a rapper. No, you're not. We gonna be in a band. No, you're not. Because you're going here for 2 semesters and that's it. Y'all are in here because you want to learn and you're trying to get in the game. Like there's no shade to anyone out there, but we at the label and we people that went here, we pay attention to all that because at some point, like we all said, we were you.
Yep.
You didn't come here because you wanted to go be a doctor. If you did, you're at the wrong school. So I'm off my soapbox.
No, I was going to say to Ryan's point too, like this is a very small business. It seems big, but it's a very small business. Everybody knows everybody. I bet you if I look on IG, we probably have a ton
tell
of
Kevin
mutual-
Lipson I said what up.
See, Kevin was my old boss.
Kevin was my old boss.
See, there's that connection. But it's a very small industry. People know each other. Word gets out if you treat people badly. People know who you are. So yeah, definitely like, get that connection. And to your point, like it starts with this class. Like when I was in school, John Bellion was my classmate. I remember going up to his dorm room and he played records for us. And I'm like, this kid is going to be special. And I should have stayed friends with him. That was my mistake. But
So you can reach out.
but that's the thing. Like you don't know, the person next to you could be the next superstar, the next, music executive, and that network, and not to network with people to try to gain something out of it, but it's like build a relationship because we know how it feels to be in this business. It's like a little community, and we understand it. But definitely just build that network.
Yeah, and I just want to say everything is relationship based.
Yeah.
It's all about relationships. And one thing I also want to mention that's super duper important is integrity. Move with integrity, because sometimes you're going to be asked to do things that don't feel right or don't sit right with you. I say trust your gut, your feelings. That's how I move. I have to move with integrity, and that's not always the popular opinion. So you have to really understand who you are internally as a person, what you're going to stand for, what you're not going to stand for, and stand on that.
Yep.
And to that point, like it's a different ball game when like I'm not gonna say all the stuff I was forced to do as an intern. Definitely illegal at this point. But,
Things have changed a little, yeah.
things are changing. Like y'all get paid to be interns. I was so happy they covered my LIRR back from Long Island to the city. Like I thought I was lit. I made $27,000 my first job. I thought I was I didn't even know I could negotiate. They were like, I'm gonna and I get benefit. I'm out. Like yeah, let's go. But like. To Asia's point, like, don't go against what, at the end of the day, be you. Integrity is a big thing, like super, super big thing. But, also there's a flip side. Like, and now I'm gonna keep it a buck. I may have done some things, not illegal in certain states. I don't do anything I wouldn't do myself. Like, I gotta hold the weed. Yeah, I smoke weed, so I don't care. Like, cops pull us over. Oh well, I got it. He's rich. He'll get us out. We're good. I'm not gonna hold a gun for you. I've never done any illegal drugs outside of that, and weed's legal in New York. I just want to point out, so I'm not doing anything illegal. I'm a weed and wine guy. So back to like how I relieve stress. Weed and wine. I'm older now. Like I got into good wine. I got into some LeBron James stuff, and I was like, oh my god, what am I doing? Why was I drinking Hennessy so long? This is stupid. But at the end of again, I'm long-winded. Sorry. But to everyone's point, like don't go against who you are. At the end of the day, that's I think everyone can say that. Like you're going to be asked to do things you don't want to do. There is a difference between doing what you don't want to do, and this is where your generation has a huge problem, kids. Because I have a lot of you that try to tell me what to do, and I'm like, I've done this way longer. Don't tell. No. First of all, I wouldn't even have the guts to even tell an executive that. But sure. So remember this: there's a huge difference on what you don't want to do than what you're willing to do. That's a big difference. Like I'm not going to ask you to do anything illegal. I'm not going to ask you to do anything beyond the realms of your scope of your job. Put it that way. But this is not a corporate job where it's a 9 to 5. You are going to be asked to do things you don't want to do, like every other job you're going to. But remember, it's what you're willing to do. That's your personality, who you are. Like they got HR departments now. Trust me, it's a whole new ballgame for us. Like there's things you will never be asked to do that you would probably be asked to do 20 years ago. So remember that. Like no one's trying to catch a case. We're not trying. Y'all Like, nah, we not trying to get caught up like that. Like, it's a different ball game. So remember that. But also, like, a lot of your generation, and now I'm sick like, oh man, like, dude, you get paid to go run errands. Think about it. You get paid to come up here and get to hang out with the artists, and you get to go to the party, and you get to do all this fun stuff that I didn't get to do when I was an intern, and you're complaining. Remember how lucky you are, because there's 50 million people that want your internship. Mm-hmm. So remember that game too.
Yeah,
I keep looking at you just because you're right in front of me. So she keeps out here like I'm on trouble. You not. I promise you not.
Yes, it's the willingness, and again, being true to yourself. And we talk about these things like integrity and, motivation and the ability. And a lot of times you have to have that. The skills can be learned and trained, but those things that you possess, and also it can flip around. It's such a small industry. If you don't do the right thing, it gets tracked around very quickly. So I try to let the students know that, that's really important too. Always do the right thing. And if you have a question about it, ask someone for advice before you do it. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Half the game is just showing up. I mean, I've got kids on my team who just graduated. They don't go to shows. I'm like, how do you think I met people? Like, how do you think we all met people? Like, we were just out all night just meeting whoever we can get. So, I had 3 shows this week, and it's like me and 2 of the people that are like my age that are showing up there. And like all of our young staffers just graduated. Like, they don't want to show up on a Sunday night. They don't want to show up on a Tuesday night. So like, just showing up, that's how you get ahead. You just got to be there.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I mean, I was going to ask you guys for any tips or advice that you could give, but I think you've already done an outstanding job of doing that. I mean, I think maybe we may need to open it up. Are we?
I got one thing to that point. Yeah. Yo, kids, be outside. Oh my God, your generation is not like we crack up at the office. Why is the 40 and up people? Why are we in the club? Word. This is y'all thing.
Word.
The digital department, we look at like, dude, you the social media guy. Like, why are you not in the club? I'm confused. and I get part of this is coming out of COVID, right? So a lot of you, your first job was out of COVID. So you don't even realize that you're supposed to be outside. Yep. And that's partly our fault as your older generation not teaching you. But here, and as someone who does, A&R research, he'll be the first to tell you. They're going to look at your numbers first. Now they're going to look at your shows.
Yep.
Now they're going to look at what you're doing in your market. Now, like the artists that are outside are getting on first. All that internet stuff's cool, and don't get me now. I sound like old head. Your numbers are, but like no artist has broken on the internet that didn't have everything else to go with them. That is a fact.
Yep.
Look. No one gets signed. It's like, cool, you'll get a record, but a record and an artist is 2 different things. A lot of people get a record, but to be an artist, that's different.
Yep.
All right.
And to your point of like going to shows, just to give an example, I was at a show Monday night for an artist that we're trying to sign who is phenomenal. And
he's not saying because I'm here.
Yeah, competition. I gotta keep it quiet. But at that show, there was another artist who noticed. I walk around with the Republic backpack. I'm proud of my company. But he stopped by. He stopped me. He was like, "Hey, you work at Republic?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh my God, I want to get my music in front of you." He gave me his business card, which was very unique because it was like a tongue with an QR code. I was like, "Oh, this shit is different." Like, oh, I'm gonna check out his music and. I really like what I'm hearing. It's still a little early, but I'm planning on potentially going to the show tomorrow as well and checking. And that would have not happened if he didn't come up to me at the show. So even to that point, like you got to be outside. You have to connect more than ever. TikTok records, they come and go, but real artists, you build it being in the community and really working with the teams and being in front of people. So that's very important.
Yeah, I mean, have you ever seen an artist that just got so famous, it turned to a big, huge artist just from TikTok and social media?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So, that message is really clear. So think of that and think about what they're saying about being in the entirety.
And just from a label standpoint, and you can attest to this at Republic, but at 300, like in every other label, we've gone through the 3 years of like, oh yeah, this TikTok thing is not really working. And now we're sick of spending $1 million on a bidding war for someone who was a rapper 3 minutes ago. Their best friend's their manager. And we ran up the bidding war so crazy that it tanked and now people lose their job. That's the other part of the business. Like, you got to be careful how this works. So like I think there's a big shift going back to artist development.
Yep.
Like that is a thing. Like every label's like, you know what? This isn't really the thing anymore. Let's go back to what's 5 artists that we really on the roster we really believe in, and let's put all our energy into that. Not to say that we don't still find things on TikTok and Instagram. Like that's still a thing. I'm not gonna lie to you and say that's not. But there is a shift in the business, and this happens every 10 years. It's like when I was for the digital age, everything gained downloads, and like, this MySpace thing ain't really a thing. Yeah, probably not. Facebook wasn't that. Then it like this happens all the time.
Yep.
So the circles come, like right now, country's having a moment.
Yep.
Country music, and if you look at country music, now I'm gonna keep it a buck. This is just black folks getting their shit together. That's something they started 50, 60 years ago.
That part.
This is just reality. It's just now they're like, oh, like, yeah, they started this. This is their music. And now it's okay for Beyonce to do a country record. Shabuzi's fucking out of here. Out of here. Yeah.
Jared went to this school.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Jared, yeah, that's his artist. And he went here. Yeah.
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 Oh, yeah, Jared, Jared Cotter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jared Cotter?
Yeah.
Cotter.
Wait, tall, light-skinned Jared?
Yeah.
I texted him in 2 seconds. I'm like, yo, bro, that's you? And you didn't call me? What are we doing?
You better connect him.
Oh no, he about to get a text in 20 seconds. I didn't know. No, I had no idea. Like my friend works at Empire and like does his digital. Again, my friend who went to 5 Towns with me, Matt Masonette, is the head of digital at Empire.
Wow.
Like again, all this goes. So back to the music part. Sorry, because I know y'all music business. This is music shit. Sorry. And I curse. I'm sorry. Welcome to the game. Y'all, like we're all gonna curse. It. Like the marketing media is gonna like.
You'll be shocked.
You're actually how I talk. You're not. I'm not. This is good for me. Like I'm actually I'm almost at like my kid's school. So again, like the music shifts, right? Like be on the wave. Like what's next? And what's next is always gonna take longer. I promise you. When I saw Lady Gaga, I was like, oh my God, we can't even mess this up. When I met Megan Thee Stallion, I was like, oh my God, we can't even mess this up. But it was still a long run before the rest of the world found, because at that point, no one did dance music but Gaga. Why would you do dance music? It's 2000. Like no one does this. That's a superstar.
Yep.
And I always joke, I was like, I don't think I've ever seen Stephanie in my life. I always saw Gaga. I've met Megan Pete a bunch, and I'm Uncle Ryan for Megan Pete. But Megan Thee Stallion, I've never seen Megan out the door that wasn't Megan. Megan was a star from day one and acted like a star. I thought you were an artist. I swear to God. You came over there, I was just like, because if you're an artist, everywhere you go, you should look like an artist.
Yep.
And that separates you.
Thing.
Yeah.
That's a big thing. Even for what I do, like, please look like your pictures. I think you kind of said something. The social media thing with all the filters, and that's not really helping you. It's not helping you at all. And I mean, I'm going through hundreds of thousands of TikToks and Instagrams and YouTubes trying to find artists for these shows that I need for like really, really fast. So I'm going through lots and lots of people. And let me tell you, whatever effects and stuff y'all putting on y'all voices and trying to trick us, we do get down to the bottom of it. Because when Idol, you have to be able to sing live. Mm-hmm. You have to. I know for the music business.
Don't look at whoa. Hey. I see where you're going with this auto-tune thing. Like, whoa.
Yeah, because the thing is so interesting because like in television and when we're talking about music competition shows, we really need the voice. We need the voice to be there when they have a 10+ band behind you. You have all these cameras in front of you. The voice needs to be there. And a lot of times people who audition, they're like on that whole Billie Eilish wavy kind of vibes. And that's not going to work for certain things like that. So just understand what you're trying to do, who you're trying to be, and just be that. With music competition shows, you do have to have the voice. I know for like record companies, you might be able to get away with a little bit more.
But
I'm not trying to.
My artists are very melodic. Thank you very much.
Melodic. That's a good word choice. Yeah.
no, but one thing about artist development, I want to go back to that too. I'm a big stats guy. This is a fun stat. For the best new artist for the Grammys next year, their average career length, I think, is 8 years. It took, on average, it took Sabrina Carpenter 10 years. It took Chaperone 10 years. It took Shabuzi 8 years. Like, now more than ever, artist development takes a lot of time. And you have to be patient with yourself. You have to discover who you are as an artist and what makes you unique. Again, 150,000 songs get released every single day. How are you competing with that? And how are you making content that showcases who you are, which then makes the labels interested in signing you. It's funny because, in our research, like, obviously I'm always going to look at the big data, the big records first and what we should go after, but we're going back to the artist development. We're going back to the old way of doing things, and I'm excited about it because it lets me, try to go sign an artist sooner than what we used to in the past. But again, it goes back to artist development and realize that now more than ever, it takes a long time because the best new artist category at the Grammys alone, it's a lot of them have been around for a while.
Can I ask you guys a question really quick?
Yeah.
Because I get this question a lot from artists because, people who typically do music competition shows have absolutely no resources, right? So they use music competition shows to get out there and to meet people and things like that. But when you're signing artists, is it still like a numbers game? Like, do they still have to have a certain amount of streams? Do they still have to have a certain amount of followers? Because I hear two different sides, right? I'm hearing that, they're going back to artist development, right? But I have a friend, I think she's at Atlantic. I don't know. She's a VP of A&R. I don't know. I can't remember one. But she, explained to me that numbers are driving how people are getting signed now. So for people who don't have the money to get those numbers up, to who have the following, like, how are people getting signed?
I'll let A&R go first.
For me, the important thing that I'm looking for when I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to sign an artist is, do they have the ability to create fandom? Now, that fandom could be 10 fans. It could be 100,000 fans. It's case by case. One of my biggest regrets but I shouldn't regret it because my boss was like, you were just starting. It's fine. Nobody was going to call it. Chaperone.
You missed something. Ooh, I can't wait to hear this. You missed something.
No, so I was still in marketing, transitioning to A&R, so I didn't fully understand the A&R role. Chaperone was in one of my reports that I built, and at that time, Atlantic dropped her already, and she was independent. And she was doing, I think, 200-300 albums weekly, but it was consistent growth, and I was like, there's something here, there's real passion here. But it was still too early. Ireland took a swing, obviously, and now she is probably the breakout, with Sabrina, the breakout artist this year. And that was, she showed true fandom because she built a unique fan base, specifically with the LGBT community too. So you as an artist, what I'm looking for when I'm trying to sign is, do you have fandom? Do you have people going to the shows? Do you have people buying your merch? Do you have people who, to be honest, give a shit about you and your music? Like fans, like actual fans. And that is gonna last you for the rest of your career. And when I was in digital advertising, I was doing the advertising campaigns for Taylor Swift, so I got to understand the Swifties a little bit. I'm a big Swiftie myself. Again, my favorite artist of all time. I rock with Taylor, and I'm not saying that because of Republic, but she's literally my favorite artist of all time. And I've never seen an artist work as hard as her. Like, she literally signs 150,000 CDs, handwriting. It's crazy. But she builds that community with her fan base, and she showed true fan base. And that's what I'm looking for when I'm trying to sign an artist. Like, can you build fans? Whether it's 10, 100, or 100,000, I'm good. I get excited when I see that people love you as an artist, personally.
So it's still about their reach and audience.
For me, that plays a role. Obviously, it will always play a role. But again, do they have a base that's committed to them and that loves them? And that just means at some point it's going to funnel and it's going to break through and it's going to continue to grow. Mm-hmm. There's other factors that are involved in my evaluation of artists, like artist managers. If you're an artist out there, please, for the love of God, get a good manager. Like, get someone who understands the business and knows the game and knows the players and knows how to move within the recording industry, because that is going to be vital. So there's a lot of things that I kind of use to kind of evaluate who I'm trying to sign. But obviously, reach is a big one. But you have to build a fan base. Like that's priority number one. Like showing some signs that you're able to do that. That to me is priority.
You know, I feel so bad because this has been like the fastest hour ever. You know, it really has. And I really how that's going to go. But can we take a couple questions? And then there's yeah.
Well, hold on.
Yeah. Oh.
I mean, I know you got Black Fridays. So and I'm going to tell you a real funny story real quick. I knew about a certain record at Target coming out on Black Friday because I was like, hey, I want to put out there like, you want to avoid Black Friday like the plague. So I knew there was one of three options. There's the Swifties, there's Adele, or the Beehive. There's only three that I need to stay away from. So once I know, I was like, ooh. That's why he's stunned, because he's going to sell 1 million records in a week. Now, that being said, I don't have nothing to do for the rest of the day because my record's coming out at midnight. Are we good?
Yo, yeah.
We going to stay a while, so let's just do what we got. Don't worry about time. Let's go.
Just talk, you're good.
Yeah, we good.
What networking advice could you give to somebody who sometimes struggles with talking to new people or doesn't necessarily enjoy doing that?
I could start that because I was very shy at first. And to be honest, when I graduated college, because I didn't have the courage to go up to people, it took me 3 years to find a full-time job in the business. But I had to force myself to learn how to communicate and to talk to people. Normally, 5 years ago, I probably wouldn't have been able to do this panel out of just pure anxiety. But it's just one of those things you kind of have to learn as you grow. It's a skill you have to develop, being able to approach people, what to talk. Something that helps me, I also try to research the people who I want to communicate with. So like, what do they do? What projects they worked on? Who do they work with? At what, like, just the kind of career path. And I go up to them like, oh my God, I love that you work with artist XYZ. How did that go? I want to know more. Another big part of networking, I wish I had, looking back now, I wish I reached out to LinkedIn to executives and say, hey, can I get 15 minutes for coffee? You will be surprised how many executives will be so down for that. Like, yeah, just come to the office. Let's talk for 15 minutes. There's so many people who want to help. But it's one of those things where I'm a very shy person, or was a very shy person, but I had to learn how to kind of like, it's a skill you kind of have to craft and be like, okay, breathe, do my research on them, then I could be confident when I go into the meeting because I know a lot about them and who they are, and I know where to steer help to steer the conversation.
Yeah, people love to talk about themselves, so just do some research, just be like, what are you working on? What's that? How did that come to be? You'll be good.
Yeah.
Hello, my name is Frankie. I make music, I produce, engineer, kind of do everything. I'm very embraced in like the underground kind of music scene, like hip hop. This is more towards like the record labels. Are the record labels paying attention to kind of the underground scene? A lot of the smaller artists who are coming up and kind of like experimenting with different sounds. Kind of know it's a lot different from what specifically mainstream hip hop. And yeah, I just kind of curious about that.
Yeah, the short answer, yes. We like everything. We like money. And it's easier to get artists that's developing and snatch them up. Also, like, that's where we make our most money. Most people think we make the money off the big guns. We actually make more money off developing artists. Once you get to a certain level, yes, we make money. I'm not going to say we don't. But we actually make more money off of 5 developing artists than we do off the one big one. Now, that one big one, when they're the developing artists and they go, that paid for the whole year. Because that local labels, and just so you know the business model, we just need one of y'all to go. If we can break one artist a year, you paid the whole label salary. You paid you made us money. So if we sign 10 and one of y'all go, we sign 20 and 3 of you go, oh my God, we had a year. So yes, so the short answer, yes. And genre, hip hop is someone who works in the hip hop space. Hip hop is so broad, right? Like you have everybody from Future and Thug and Gunna and Baby to Playboy Cardi. Then you got Tyler the Creator. Like he's having a run and he's stuck to his base. Like Tyler don't make radio records. He don't even make internet records. But he's built his base so like have no like it'll look blank on the internet and tomorrow I'm dropping tomorrow and like go number 1. Yeah. Like so Shout out to Clancy. He used to work at Interscope. Like, that's his manager. Again, small world. So answer yes, but you have to be. I think the other thing we don't talk about is sacrificing consistency. I know we talked about mental health earlier, and I keep it a buck. I talk to a therapist. That's a normal thing. I live a crazy life. That's just mental health is important. But I'm consistent in my this is what I do. I'm not. This is not. I always say that people have jobs, people have careers, and this is what you do. This is just who I am and what I do. I am who I am. Like I've never had plan A. If you don't have plan B, plan A has to work. Yep. And if you're an artist and this is plan A and you don't have plan B and you make good music, I promise you, no matter how long it takes and you're consistent, this will fucking work. Yep. But you got to have that and you're gonna get a million no's before you get a maybe. You're gonna get a million maybes where you finally get that yes. Mm-hmm. So always remember that. But you have to be all in. And if you're not all in, this isn't gonna work for you. I promise you. You might get lucky and you throw it on the internet and just randomly go one. Like you might be the one in the haystack. That needle in that haystack with the internet got a whole lot bigger. It ain't like 20 years ago where you got to make a CD and like 150,000 a day. Yeah. I don't want to be in A&R research. I'm cool.
It's an endless sea, and to that point, like it's now a global market. I think that's one thing that now more than ever we care about. The world, what's happening. When I was in school, we were so U.S. focused, obviously physicals and all that. It was very U.S. based. But now, it's like you're also competing with artists in Latin America, in Europe, in Australia. There's so much. It's like the attention span of audiences too are shorter. So you got to be experimental and different and unique, and also try to figure out ways how you combine different sounds, because I think one of the blessings that came out of streaming is that you have a playlist like today's top hits, and you have a hip hop song, then you have a pop song, then you have a country song, then you have an R&B song, and like new generations are now kind of like attuned to listening to different records. Where in my day, if I loved hip hop, I'm only gonna buy hip hop records usually, hip hop albums, because it was $18 an album. But this is a global market now, so you kind of have to experiment with different sounds and, try to find a way to get yourself, more unique in that space, so to speak.
Thank you.
Time for more questions? Yeah.
Hello, I'm Aaron Jones, and I appreciate you guys coming here because this is a pretty dope experience, honestly. But my question is, what are some essential skills a newcomer should focus on developing for success in the music industry?
For me, again, being the research person, it's kind of understand the business, understand the players. There's one website that I recommend people to go to. I don't know how you feel about this, because a lot of people either love or hate it. Hits Daily Double. Like Hits Daily Double will let you know what's going on in the music industry, who got promoted, who's running labels. Understanding that game and that proponent will be big. I think we mentioned it before, being in the forefront in front of people, that's going to be important. Skills like trusting your gut, at least for me on the A&R research side, I'm a big data nerd, so understanding how to read Luminate, which is Nielsen, that lets you know what streams are, understanding, Instagram data, understanding your TikTok data, like how to read those records. That to me, those are skill sets that you kind of need for the job that I have.
I mean, honestly, the biggest thing that I see with kids coming in is that kids don't know how to use a computer anymore. Like everybody's just using their phone. Like I have kids that come in, they have no idea how to use a computer, and like I'm like, why is this taking you so long? Oh, you don't know how to use a keyboard. Like, so that's like the biggest thing. Just like it's something so basic, but like it's completely gone over the past like 5 to 10 years. Yeah.
I think for me, here I'm gonna ask you a question. What do you want to do? Then go to a studio.
Everybody wants to be Kanye. I mean, everybody wants to be the rapper, but there's other things that you can do besides being a rapper, and behind the scenes will always give you a consistent job.
Mm-hmm. So who's your favorite artist?
My favorite artist is Kanye West with Dr. Dre and 50 Cent.
All good. Like, you were giving me the look like that was wrong. No, all correct answers. Go to a studio. Mm-hmm. Go to a studio. Like, go to Quad. Go to where the artists that you like are going to record and intern there, and just stay and be. You'll be surprised being in the room how much you'll catch, and sooner or later someone's gonna let you at that board, and when that happens, That's your moment. So also, like, I always tell the kids, be prepared for the moment.
Yep.
I've been in situations I wasn't ready for the moment, and I missed the layup when I had an easy dunk. Like, you got to be ready for the moment. And also, like we talked about opportunities, and but God makes you fumble an opportunity because now you know. I'll never fumble that again. I'll tell a quick story. Like, fumble. I had dinner with Kevin Lyles, Raina Bass, who's the co-president 300, and Julie Greenwald. And I didn't know Julie Greenwald was coming. So if y'all know Julie, who ran Atlantic for 20 years, and the OG GOAT, like the real person you want no problems with. It wasn't Leo or Kevin. Julie's the GOAT.
Yeah.
I sat down. When I tell you I was not ready for that, she sat down in the first 30 seconds, told me how she laid off 200 people when she was 9 months pregnant and pushed her baby back a week so she could I was like, so what do you do, Ryan? And I promise from that, it was the best experience ever because afterwards I looked at her and I was like, she's like, you okay? I was like, I definitely fumbled that. So like, but like I ended up building a relationship, ended up being like, so I said, what's up to Julie? And it's all good now. But like, I wasn't ready for that executive moment, and I just became an executive, and I didn't even know that was coming, because she fumbled. And executives will do that to you. The big OGs will be like, let's see how you handle. Oh, you think you can handle pressure? Was not ready. Bro, yo, he didn't even put you on first. Oh, you fumbled out the game.
I was letting you continue.
No, you were supposed to stop. Like, first of all, I want to be an engineer, and this is my artist, right? Like, bro, like, welcome to the game.
Another engineer, I stick myself next to good people, and I learn everywhere.
You know,
They're good guys.
Dealing with some family issues, but I stick myself to good people and that know how to really do this because I want to learn. You know?
so this is where I say let's connect afterwards too, because Republic Records, we have a New York studio as well. I think we should probably talk internship programs. Well, yeah, because we have a studio as well in New York City, which we develop, and we always have, engineer students who go in and learn. So let's connect afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, because I know Sony has one too, but I didn't know Republic, you guys have a studio in there.
Our studio opened during COVID. I love our recording studio. It's brand new. It's beautiful.
Okay.
But
That's great to know.
But we should talk. Yeah, like we always have engineering interns there. I think throughout the year, usually Republic Records, we have interns in the summer. That's usually our. And funny enough, we're going to start interviewing, I think, in November for internships across the different departments. But our recording studio, I think it's a year round. It's the only department that's year round.
Year round, okay.
But we do have recording engineers, and we do hire, engineering students. Obviously, there's going to be a whole interview process, and I'm not the decision maker. But the most I could do is just put it in front of Duro, who's a legendary A&R. He runs our studio. So
That's
we'll
great.
we'll talk.
We'll
and-
talk,
yeah,
for
yeah,
sure,
yeah.
yeah. And that's great. And yeah, we're trying to encourage the students at the big companies to, they're posting things out at least 2 semesters or a semester prior.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, we're starting now for
Submit
summer.
now for summer, absolutely.
And also,
yeah.
like, I hate to throw HR under the bus, but they're not really going to help you. Like, if you got to end with one of us, like, I can't hire you, but I'm going to get you to the person who actually
Right.
hires the actual intern. And, at least get you a shot. Now, what you get in the room, that's on you. But, like,
Yeah.
just a heads up, for all of you trying to get a job, HR does nothing for you. They're the ops anyway. So, like, just heads up.
Yeah.
So,
It's getting the
nobody-
resume, but you still have to do the application too. You
yeah.
have to go
I
through
mean,
the
there's
whole
still a
system.
corporate process.
Yeah, you
but
have to do the
I
corporate
know I can
process.
speak for everybody up here. None of us got a job based on HR.
Right.
Never.
No.
Never.
No. It's all who you know, and you gotta.
And I
You
just
guys-
want to just say one thing to this young man here. One of my best friends, he's a producer, OG Parker. He's with quality control. Oh, y'all know? Okay. I didn't know y'all was going to know. Okay. And I mean, just hearing his story has always been about he just shows up to studios. Don't have no meetings, don't have no appointments. Some of his biggest collaborations came from him just showing up and hanging out. So as long as you get that into going somewhere, like he said, you just need to be in the right building. And that's how the majority of his collaborations came through. Showing up. May not have no plan. You can't be scared. You just gotta go.
Yep.
That's
Key
what it
words.
is.
Well, I think, are we ready? Can we take one more question? One more question and then we, but these guys are gonna be
We got
here.
nothing to do tonight. Well, let's go.
I got.
No.
Oh, Chris is like, I gotta go.
No.
I thought y'all was worried about us.
No, we'll be here, but we can mingle if you want to single, or we can go right up to the, step and show, whatever you want.
My man got the
So
mic.
good.
We gonna
So
go
good.
ahead.
So good.
Feature
Great
first
conversations.
Hi, my name is Joey. I'm actually a film student, but I just recently incorporated for my own production company, and we premiered our first feature.
Like that?
It's pretty cool. Thank you. But I just had a question because something that I struggle with because I basically run everything. I get everyone there. I try to get as many people as I can on board. But something I really struggle with is actually getting people to do things, is communicating with people and getting those texts out, getting those emails out, and then it takes however long for them to respond. And I'm just wondering if you have any tips on how to really get that sort of, that message out clearer or seem like it's more important or serious. And yeah.
Well, when you say getting people to do things, are you talking about crew? Or are you talking about talent? Like, be more
Anyone.
specific.
We have a big, we have a crew chat. We have for this next movie we're doing, we have a crew chat and an actors chat, and we send out, pretty often, filling out forms, contracts, everything like that. And it takes, sometimes I'll get 2 or 3 responses the first day, and then I won't get any for like a month, and I have to bug people for it all the time. But is there a way to sort of make it seem like it's more relevant?
Well, I mean, that sounds like a big problem if your crew can't get back to you. You need to rethink those people because your crew cannot be like that. You have to find people that are as passionate as you are, because that's a problem. Now, when it comes to talent, right? I would say, you ever heard of casting networks?
Yes. Yeah.
Did you start? Are you like releasing things on casting networks?
No, but I have used it before, but we did. I've casted just everyone from school, and
Gotcha.
it's like that with crew, which I think is another reason. It's sort of that like friends in the business sort of, which I bet you guys
A
can
lot of times
understand.
your friends and your family, you want them to come through and pull through, but they're like usually the worst, honestly. Mom. You gotta find people that are as passionate as you are as far as crew. So that part. But when it comes to talent, casting networks definitely has some great options for like college students. There's a lot of actors out here who want to work, who need to work. That's really something where I would have to read and see like how your verbiage, like where you're posting and stuff. So afterwards I'll give you my email and we can communicate about that, because it is trial and error. It's a lot of trial and error. For me personally, I'm always creating a flyer or something to post on Instagram, and I started off with doing Google Forms because it was free. Now I use something called Casting Crane. It can get a little bit costly, but as far as talent, it's all about constantly building your email list and just building up your network of people. But the best place to get actors fast will be casting networks. That's every single agent uses that. Every agent, every commercial casting director, every casting director. Casting networks and Actors Access are the 2 databases that everybody uses, So like, even if you guys wanted to make some money doing some background work, just sign up and, have a profile, take a picture, you know what I mean? And submit to things. And that's the thing, is a lot of times people are not submitting to things. Submit. And that's the issue that you're having, it sounds like. But those are the 2 networks that you want to really get to know who those people are on that side, because they do help college students out a lot. And if you ever, if it's something cool and, you show me, and, I don't mind helping, I do it. My brother's a filmmaker. I do it for him all the time, but I need credit.
And you said you worked for American Idol, right?
Yes.
Do you remember Kaylin Hedges from last season, the one with her dad was in the Army?
Yes.
Yeah, that's an ex-girlfriend of mine.
Yeah, everybody's a story. Everybody has a story. Yes, small world. Yeah. How did she? Do you still talk to her? Oh, okay.
All right.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah. Most of everything is showing up, submitting, giving yourself a shot and a chance. That's really what it comes down to. The question?
Yeah, I got a question. My name is Liam. I'm a business audio student here. I just wanted to ask a question about a topic that was touched on a little earlier, get a little bit more clarity on it. As far as like A&R goes, and I guess you, Ryan, you're, 300 Entertainment. What's the, in my personal opinion, currently, especially hip hop, rap, the market is oversaturated, and this is just my opinion, oversaturated with typically like mediocre music, because I feel like a lot of people are confuse artistry with popularity currently. Like artists or people in the industry, up and coming artists will make catchy content or do something crazy attached with their music or their song. It'll get a million views, and then they'll get signed and where am I going with this? What's my question? I lost my train of thought. Yeah, okay. But what's the threshold for you guys, right? If you're looking at an artist, I feel like there's a lot of artists currently in the world right now that may not be as social media savvy or, marketing savvy, but are artists, have true artistry, creatives, make great music, but they don't get the attention that they deserve necessarily because they're not trending. Like, they're not making that crazy content. They're not doing those sorts of things that are getting these other people attention. So then, you have a lot of people that may be more consistent or making that kind of crazy stuff. They end up, seeing the success.
Yeah.
What is your threshold with that? Like, where does popularity not equal artistry? Where, if you see art, because I know you said, they could have 10 fans, they could have this many, and, I'm asking both of you guys this question. What really is the threshold? Like, where is it too low to where if you find an artist, they are making great music, you can tell, you've listened to how many songs a day, you can tell, like, this person has something, but the label will never go for it because they only have 10 fans, 10 followers. Like, what's the actual threshold there? Where's the cutoff? Where do you have to be as an aspiring artist? I'm sure there's a lot of people in the crowd that, would want to know too. Like, where do we got to get to for you to really like look at us like that?
What's funny? It's like when I first started in A&R, I asked that same question myself to my boss, and I was like, "Hey, what is like the number? Like, what do you guys like? What's the? At what point do I say, oh, okay, now it's time. They're ready to get signed?" And he gave me the answer like, there is no playbook. So you have to literally go through the talent. That's a very big component, at least for me, when I'm evaluating an artist. When I meant like fandom too, it's like, again, are they being consistent with like their fan base? Like, are they constantly posting about them or talking about them? Are they going to their shows? Are they buying their merch? I know for an independent artist, it's a little bit more difficult because you kind of have to, it's tough to run a whole business. Like, you want to make music. You don't want to be worrying about building a hat or like making a hat or a shirt. Like, that's the last thing on your mind. But that's why I think getting the right team behind you as well, the right manager that could help support you and get you to that point. Because at the end of the day, I always feel like the artist should focus on the music, and that's where the artist managers and their team are able there to help them develop everything else around them. Obviously, the artist will be the CEO of everything because you have to have the final approval. But in my opinion, it's like you have to continue to put out music. I know that what you mentioned, like, it's tough when you're not don't post a lot socially, but in a weird way, like, that's the current business right now. So you have to kind of like find a way to kind of work your way through it. One of my favorite stories is this is not a hip hop artist, Florence and the Machine, who signed to us, who's phenomenal artist. She didn't come from the TikTok world. She was around for a bit. And we were trying to get her to get into TikTok, and she was against it. And then Julie Vastola, who's one of our incredible creative folks, went to her and sat her down and be like, it's not about doing TikTok dances. It's about bringing TikTok to your world. So it's like, this is my world. This is what I'm building. And this is what I'm going to be posting about. If you're a rapper, like, post you like in the studio, your lyrics, your music, things like that. Make that the focus. Make it your anchor. Again, it's tough to say because there's no specific threshold of like, oh, he has 50,000 followers, let me go. Because engagement is a big part of it as well. I think that you have to kind of help yourself by, again, promoting yourself, promoting your music, making that relationship with fan base. So if someone's commenting about a video you posted, comment back saying thank you, like, let's connect. I'm happy you like my music. Like, make them into a fan. And trust me, we will find you. Like, my team, I go through 200 artists every single day. We will find you. And you know, as Ryan might know, we always tend to compete for the same artists because the labels, we live in a place where we all see the same data now a little bit. But to me, the main thing for an artist is like, you kind of have to push yourself. And I know it's tough, especially when you have other things to worry about, but it's right now where the platform and discovery is happening.
It's all social media based, right? A lot of this.
Well,
Also
yes
cultural.
and no.
Yeah.
I mean,
because Pop Smoke, sorry for interrupting,
Yeah.
like for Pop Smoke, when we signed him, he was just New York. Like, it was only happening in New York. He was in the drill scene. And, you know, he was culture, though. He was culturally relevant. And he made a huge impact in culture. And other artists in the community were fucking with him and liked what they were hearing.
Right.
So that's the reason why, you know, he ended up signing with Victor, which we have a partnership with. And that's how we worked Pop Smoke project. May he rest in peace, because he was an incredible artist, an incredible person, and a spirit. But you kind of have to do that. You kind of have to either be culturally impactful or really push yourself. I mean, that's my opinion.
To that point, I totally agree. I'm a little older, so I have a rapper rule. If you don't run your hometown, you don't run shit.
Well, yeah, that's my point, though, is that
If you can run your town, Huncho's a perfect example. Nobody outside the east side of Atlanta knew who Huncho was. But when we went to Atlanta, all our Atlanta artists were like, yo, this is the second coming of Future.
Yes,
Like, but it was so east side Atlanta that I took him, when we signed him, took him to the Clark Homecoming and had him perform. And I'm like, oh, it's about to go crazy. Crickets. And I'm like, I thought and then my man in Atlanta put me aside. He was like, no. But if you take him to the east side, take him to a high school, you would have thought Thug walked in there. But outside the east side of Atlanta, it wasn't nothing. Now, obviously, Huncho is who he is now 2 years later. But that, if you can run, like, let's take 5 towns. Let's just take this as a small sample. It's like, there's 500, 1,000 kids here. Let's do 1,000 to make the numbers easy. You're an artist, right? Let's just, for you example.
yeah.
Every time you do a show every Friday night here, this place is packed. Every week. You got 100 monthly listeners, but all these people are coming every week at $5. So now you're making money at $5 a show, like 55, do the math. 100, $500 weekly. So you're making a little something. You got all this viral content because everybody here got a phone. Everybody here's for the same thing. You got people that can edit your videos for free. Like, it's all here. Like this, and I'm,
Pull it together.
Pull it together. I'm cool with Gary Vee. I'm a firm believer in how Gary puts things together. This is all, bro. Like, it's your phone. This ain't that. Like, we ain't curing cancer. Now, don't make the record everyone else makes. And I told it's gonna take you long, because if you make that record, everybody's making that record. We don't want the same record. Oh, we can make this on our own, and we'll do this better than you ever could, because we have all the producers. We can make this record 15 times over. We're not looking for that. We need somebody new to make a different kind of record, because that record will go. Like artists we have, like Pink Panthers. Like, that was not the single. Be clear, that wasn't the single. And we didn't get Ice Spice to jump on it. She got her to do it on a DM. And it was the record of the year. Where every label gets that one a year that no one saw coming, that was ours. Literally made our year off of, but like, it wasn't, I don't want to say it was an accident. It wasn't the record. It wasn't even supposed to be that single. She just kind of dropped it like, and it went because the people decided. And that, if you listen to that record, does that sound like we picked that single?
No. That's one of
not
the
a-
breakthrough. That's like a song that I would say that went against the grain currently with the sound and trending. Because as a fan too, that's why I said like I feel like it's just oversaturated. And obviously 150,000 songs a day. That's kind of hard to not have an oversaturated market when you got, and it's just a lot of like that was a song that cut through and it doesn't.
At the end of the day, the people decide. We don't.
Yeah.
I would love to tell you there's a button that we could all push and we make this thing go. Like if we could, we would all push the button. I promise you. My bonus really would want to push that button. Like we don't. It's not. That's not how this works. And like I hate to tell everyone like I'm not to downgrade anything you're saying, but like it's on you, bro. Like at the end of the day, like if you don't want to post it, like I have artists that do that. I'm like, bro, like. It's not my. I always tell. I give every artist saying, "This is not my record. This is not my merch. This is you. I can tell you how to do it. I can show you how to do it. I can be there and help you do it. But you still gotta do it."
Yeah.
You can't want it more than the artist.
Yeah.
That's the quote that always tell me. You cannot want it more than the artist. Because I stress a lot too when there's an artist. I'm like, I need you to do this, and everyone's telling me like, you can't want it more than the artist.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can't push you to do it.
That kind of goes back to what you were saying before too. Like, what do you not want to do, and what are you willing to do? Is
100%.
two different things.
I mean, even for me, there's a lot of artists that just feel like if they just exist, there's some Cinderella story is going to happen. Somebody's just going to scoop them up because you believe in your soul and in your mind or whatever that you are the greatest. You're better than this person. You better than that person. We're not going to know if you're not out there putting yourself out there. Yeah. And like a lot of artists don't, especially the younger artists. So many are against, all these social media platforms or what have you. But you got to read the room. That's how people are getting signed. That's how people are being found. So you got to get over whatever it is you feeling.
To point out, I have a blue check and I'm 46. Do I really need a fucking blue check? But for business wise, I do. Like
Word.
I always tell somebody like, it's a tax write-off, right? It's $16 to get your. Now no one wants the blue check. Oh my God, y'all were fighting for that damn blue check. And when I got all my publicity and I got my blue check, and then I was like, then a month later, everyone's like, well, now you can pay for it. So now I look like I paid for it. But I'm sorry, but it's also the algorithm. If you pay for it, Meta will put you in the algorithm. Play the game, kids.
Play the game.
You on YouTube, it's okay to spend $100 on the ad for your video. It's okay. It'll go a long way. Invest in yourself.
Okay, so we are running over, but we had one quick question? Okay, one quick question, and then we'll wrap it up.
Thanks. Hey guys, my name is Will Ramos. I'm an artist and an engineer. I'm doing the sound, but my question was, you guys were speaking about internships earlier, and I guess still are, I guess. But you said you were looking at stuff now, but how you're looking at a lot of resumes, a lot of people. What stands out to you as things that look good and things that you just kind of throw away? What should I be, wary about? Because I want to get my feet wet in somewhere that I deem like valuable, a place that I like. And I know with time I'll do my craft or whatever, but I need money, I need to live, so I'm trying to get in there ASAP. And
so can I give you some game? I'm gonna give you all the secret. Here's what I did back in the day. Everybody at every record label is their first name dot last name at WMG, at UMG, at Sony Music or whatever. Bro, get everybody's name. It's their first name dot last name.
Yep.
Email them your resume. Because worst case scenario, we're gonna forward it to the intern department. We're not gonna just be like, whatever. Hustle.
You got LinkedIn now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This gonna be the easiest shit on planet Earth.
If you DM, if you message them, if they are a part of it, it can go straight to their phone.
Yep. LinkedIn is huge.
It's
Just send me a
different
LinkedIn.
now.
Yeah.
And I always look for Instagrams too.
Yeah.
I would say people
I
DM me on
them.
Instagram too.
Lord knows I get tagged into everybody's fucking record. So hey, I'll actually. Oh, someone wants an internship. You're not asking me to get you a deal. Oh, I'll just look at it
Word.
It makes it so much
And
easier.
Get their information.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's about connections. It's about relationships. It's about networking.
I put many kids that went to this school on just because you went. Once I said, you went to Five Towns, I give them an interview.
Yep.
There you go.
Because somebody did that for me.
So
it's all about connection. Yeah, network.
I just want to thank the panelists again. Give a round of applause. So this panel, industry, it's about careers in industry networking. That's so important. And showing up. Showing up. Thank you all for showing up. The students, faculty, staff. And thank yourselves for showing up, right? And I just want to, again, this is the family panel. This is the last panel, the careers, featuring 5 times alum. So there's a little, if they have some time, maybe we can have students come up to them directly if you didn't get a chance to ask a question. And if you're going to be graduating or you're an alum, you're welcome back next year. If you're a student, hopefully you'll be showing up again. And I just want to thank you. This concludes our MES Conference 2024. Thank you.